Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Late Night with TrevisMichelle, your host, TrevisMichelle. Yes, I know y'all were saying, what happened? Well, we got to have a little expectation, right? Can't just like pop in and like that. I'm still working on stuff, but I am excited to have you here with us tonight. What is Late Night with TrevisMichelle? Well, one, I'm an international bestselling author of Saving Lives While Fighting for Mine. I have my own publishing company now, Ask TT Publishing LLC, and I have my journal launching. Remember, y'all, I told you about this walk. Boss Up with Confidence. W, willing participant. A, action steps. L, love yourself. And K, kick butt unapologetically. Well, it is launching on Friday, and I'm going to need all of my people, all of my fam to go in there and purchase a copy because give it as a gift to another young woman. Give it as a gift to yourself because as women, and my kings, y'all come in here too, so I'm excited about you. But we need to boss up with confidence. We really need to feel good about ourselves. We need to make ourselves a priority. In addition to that, you know what? I'm also the confidence coach. Y'all know it. What? No matter what is going on in life, you continue to go. No matter what is happening, you continue. But y'all know what is my foundation? It's called the God, God. That's why. That's why I'm still here. That's why I'm here tonight. Even though I'm nauseous, even though I'm sitting here going, oh my goodness, I really want to lay down someplace. As you know, I'm on my journey with cervical cancer, and I'm bringing that awareness into our community, especially the Black community. And that's why I'm so open about it, because you know what? I'm still doing it. They said it's curable, and it is curable, but we have to catch it and we have to bring awareness to it. And the show must go on. No matter what, we are not going to stop. So, also, I'm an expert at forgiveness, freedom, and redemption. Because if you don't forgive yourself so that you can have freedom, so that you can be redeemed, huh? We have to walk in that vein. Now, I'm excited tonight. So I'm going to cut some of the things I usually say out a little bit because we have such an esteemed guest. And it's my first councilwoman, and I am so excited, guys. When God says that you have an assignment, you have to be obedient. And he will just bring the people that you need that are supposed to be here. And I'm just so happy to have a woman who looks like me, who has gone from teenage volunteerism to a leader in the community and has done it with class and so well. So I just want to give you a bit about her before I bring Councilwoman Selvena Powers on. She represents the 31st District, which includes the communities of Auburn, Brookville, Edgemere, Laurelton, Springfield, Queens, and Far Rockaway. New York in the house, just in case y'all didn't know. She was elected in a special election in February of 2021 this year. She's been a dedicated public servant for 17 years. And guess what? She lives in the community. That's important because, people, they want to be in charge of the community, but they don't live in the community. They're not of the community. They don't really know about the community. So it speaks volumes. Her prior experiences in government span from state Senate majority leader, conference leader, mayor's office to combat domestic violence, and as we said, as a teen volunteer for the first New York City public advocate. This is huge. But y'all, she's also a proud HBCU alumni. Yes, graduate of Wilberforce University, the first privately owned and operated HBCU. She also holds an MS in international law from New York University. And guess what? She is a proud mother of a daughter. She was cute as a button, I can tell you that. And they have a dog, and of course, her husband. Without further ado, I'm going to bring on Councilwoman Selvena Powers-Brooks. Let's add you. Hello, how are you, Councilwoman? How are you doing?
Good. How are you doing? And thank you so much for having me on tonight.
When you said yes, I didn't know what to do with myself because you never, if you don't try. My grandma said, "Hey, nothing beats a failure but a try," and I was so proud of you, and I was like, I have my show now because this is new for me as well. You were elected in the beginning of the year, and my show started in July. So I was like, oh my goodness, and I'm brave. I'm brazen. I'm like, that's right. She needs to come on here.
Absolutely. And I'm always one to support other women doing great things. And you're my sister in ministry. And I'm so excited for this platform you've created to be a vehicle to communicate with many voices, many issues, bringing it to the community. So thank you so much for welcoming me onto your platform.
Yes, thank you. And you know what? I'm just sharing because we do go out internationally. It's
Yes.
NYC is 10 o'clock, and we have a dedicated Black woman, councilwoman, who's serious, who says, you know what, everybody comes on at 11 in the morning or 10 and that kind of thing. And she said yes. And, for her to take time from her family. So we're going to, not going to have our hour with her tonight. We're just going to give her some time to speak and share. And then you and I will come back and we'll chat it up a little bit because I know your time and you have to rest and NYC needs you. We got stuff going on in here. Okay.
No, definitely.
So
No,
just
one of my constituents told me one day, he was like, what you say? He was like, your pull up game is so strong. And I was like, yeah, I pull up. I love that. But, it's really about being able to touch, see, feel our elected leaders. It's so important for people to know that we are people just like them. And so that's why it's so important for me to be someone that continues to be on the ground, keeping my hand on the pulse, knowing what's going on, because that's what helps to inform me in terms of the work that I need to do in City Hall.
wow. So now, what you started out as a teenage volunteer. What made you start volunteering? Was it because you had to for high school credit? And how did that turn into like a passion for you?
So, first, the passion started even before then. I really have to attribute my passion for public service to my grandfather. He was very involved in the political movement in Jamaica, West Indies. And so I grew up around this energy that was pretty electrifying since I was a little girl. And just seeing how dedicated he was to community, how fierce he was to fight for the rights of people, making sure that they had things. He was that person that before the sun came up, if you needed food, he would be someone leaving food at your door if he knew you needed it.
Wow.
He was very selfless, and that's something that always resonated with me. And I also like the excitement of the politics in Jamaica because it's a whole different level there in Jamaica, West Indies. And when I was in high school, I attended Washington Irving High School in Manhattan. And I had an opportunity to volunteer in the office of the New York City public advocate, who at the time was Mark Green. And so I would be able to leave school early and travel over to that office and work and do different things and help out in the office. And I was able to really get mentored by some amazing people who work there. Some people who I stay in touch with till today. We have, Fred Lewis, who's a Rockaway resident, who will send me messages right now with ideas to how we improve the community. Also, I bumped into Alba the other day, who still works for the city, and I love the fact that these are lifelong public servants that were there when I was just a teenager that is still around, always pouring into me. And, I'm always thankful for those moments. And so that really was the start for me in terms of volunteering and public service. I went on to college where, as you mentioned, I'm an alumna of Wilberforce University out of Wilberforce, Ohio. And in college, I was a part of a number of different organizations volunteering. I remember volunteering through the NAACP to organize a stop on the national presidential tour with John Kerry when he was running for president. And just working and activism out in Ohio was something that I was able to take part in there also. So volunteering is something that I've always believed helps you understand a community really quickly and really intimately. Another example was, years later, I went to California, and to learn the Bay Area, I started as a volunteer working on a campaign, a mayoral campaign. And I got to learn the Bay Area, learn the people, and really cultivate new relationships many that I still have to this day, as a result of that. And so I always encourage people to volunteer where they can. I'm also a member of an illustrious sorority, Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated, which is a community service based organization focused on social action. And so this is just something that throughout my ins and out, I'm always looking to see how I serve others, how I serve community, how I build and empower others. And that's what it really is about.
Wow. That, you know what? I thank you for, being so transparent with that, because sometimes we get caught up with the titles that we see people and we don't realize the journey they had to go through. And that's what I love so much about Late Night with TrevisMichelle. It's great to see the shiny object. Oh my goodness, you're a councilwoman, you're this. But how did you get there? Because there are other young men and women who may be struggling, but they can say, oh, but that's part of my journey. Okay, yeah. So I can't skip the steps and go from 1 to 5. I have to go through the rest. Yep. And being able to, volunteer and to see you have no idea how much Michelle says Black girl magic. I mean, look,
yes.
to see two women collaborating, who, and look, it's not like we knew each other. That was a phone call. This was just me reaching out. And then because of her heart to serve, Councilwoman said yes. And I actually got, guys, I was like, did I read that right? Did I read that right? So, you actually put the walk in the talk instead of just talking it. But you know what? Now, you're doing all this volunteerism. Now you're going to the communities, but you also have a family, and that can be challenging. So how do you not balance, because that's for 2022. I'm not balancing anything. We're integrating. How do you integrate serving others and serving your family as well?
So that's a good way of putting it, integrating it. I like that because it is technically an integration when you really think about it. I will say I'm still working on it. In total transparency, no day is the same, right? And so, like tonight, I really strive to put my daughter to sleep on time. There are nights where she's up very late because I'm up, and she wants to be in the action too. She's like 2 years old now, so she's like, I call her my tail. She follows me everywhere. She repeats everything. And so, there are some days that I'm able to get her to bed on time. There's some days I'm not. There's some days I'm able to cook dinner for my husband and my daughter. And many of those days I'm not. Because my days are never all the same. So there are nights that I'm coming in and it's after 10. And I would have left the house at like 8 in the morning.
Wow.
And so these are very long days. And then there are some days that I'm, fortunate to be able to do Zooms from home. And some of those days I'll decide to keep my daughter home from school. So I may be on a Zoom and you may hear her in the background, or she may try to join the conversation. And that's just, my reality. I'm so thankful for the community I serve because they are understanding and know that they elected a mom. And so there are times that I'm on a late night community meeting, and after I present, they're like, all right, go take care of your little one. And so, I'm so grateful that they are allowing me to serve and be authentically myself, and to allow me to figure it out and understand that I do have a family too.
That's great. And you know what? You're a prime example of a woman bossing up with confidence, because you're not apologetic for having your family and integrating your daughter, and you're on a Zoom and you're a councilwoman. This is life. This is a reality, and people have to accept all of you. And the fact that you also have the support of your husband, that's so important, because we have to. I do want to acknowledge some people that came on. Angelique Joanne Neighbors, I think that's one of your sorors.
Yes.
Come on. Thank you so much, Michelle Anderson. We have Dr. Nikki Ziegler, Mattpreneur Matthew, December, I, Renee Taylor. You know, thank you guys for coming on and supporting. We need more of women, Black women, brown women, who are taking that lead. So, what challenges do you face being in office? Because it's a male dominated, right? We're going to live male white dominated. We just call it as it's late night. This is what we do.
I
So,
mean, it is what it is.
it is.
I will say there is a shift happening in the atmosphere as the song goes,
Yes,
and
it is.
there's some movement happening. And in January, I will be a part of a historic city council. We will be having the first ever woman majority in the New York City Council, where 31 or 51 women will be women. And they're moms, they're, LGBT members, they're are grandmas, there are wives, there's so many different women that will be in the body. And so there is a shift in what government and what politics will look like for New York City, which I'm pretty excited about. I've been in this business for almost 20 years now, not including when I was a volunteer in high school, but as someone being paid to do this work. And there wasn't many women who were mentors in this space because it was so male dominated. So I'm actually fortunate to have a number of mentors. The challenge is the majority of them are men. And the gift from it, though, is because I was fortunate to have men in leadership and some men who have ascended into really high positions. Um, I feel like I've been groomed in a way that I guess I kind of, some people may feel like I operate fearlessly. I just don't think about any boundaries, and I don't think anyone should. I think the only limitations one can have is one we place on ourselves. And so I try not to place any boundaries on myself. And, if I say I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it. And that's what it's really about. And right now, my focus is mentoring and helping as many women as possible. Before, this woman lead hashtag became popular, I was on host committees for fundraisers, and I was organizing with people like Michelle Gilliam and Brittany Whaley from the labor movement, trying to help empower and groom women in this space. And I see so many more people doing it now. I see them doing it even better, right? Because it's so much more of a platform now. And I'm super, super happy to see the growth in this space for women. Um, they're now not just one seat at the table, but there are many seats at the table. And so, I love it. And yes, I saw a Tarawana lifting while you climb, and that's what it's about.
Right. That's right. Because, I always say there's more room at the top. And
Mm-hmm.
when you shine, we all shine. When we shine, you shine. And that's that collaboration, right? Collaboration over competition. Collaboration trumps competition
Mm-hmm.
so that we can get the job done. So, what are you doing for your community specifically here in the Queens, New York City area?
Wow. Let's see, what am I not doing? But in terms of for my district, I have been really working to deliver. When I was sworn in, it was in the midst of the COVID-19 pandemic. At that time, we had a vacancy for some months because my predecessor became the Queensborough president. And so our community, unfortunately, was without a permanent vaccine site, um,
Mm.
despite having been one of the deadliest zip codes for the pandemic. And the 11691 zip code, which is in Far Rockaway, was the second deadliest zip code. We have one hospital in our district with no trauma center. We we needed help when it came and attention when it came to COVID-19. So one of the first meetings I had as a duly elected council member was with health and hospitals. And it was to share our need to have access to the vaccine. And so we were able to, as a result of the advocacy, open up 3 permanent vaccine sites and a number of mobile sites. Since then, we have launched an idea that actually came from Fred Lewis, who I mentioned earlier, who I've known since I volunteered with Mark Green, Vaccination Sundays, where each Sunday I was going to different churches and partnering with them and talking about the importance of being vaccinated. And after church, people had the opportunity to go outside and get vaccinated right there. We ensured that community events throughout the summer had vaccine mobile vans there. And it wasn't always easy because despite the city knowing that it was necessary and needed, it was a fight to get the access in our community, which to me was just really crazy. And so that was one example of the work that I've had to do. We've worked to really bring resources back in terms of addressing crime in our community. So I was able to secure $1.1 million to expand the Cure Violence initiative into the 31st District, into specifically the 105th Precinct confines, where we've seen the expansion of 100 suits and King of Kings Foundation, as well as increased funding to Rock Safe Streets. And it's been amazing to see these organizations hit the ground running and really expand their service that they provide to our community to combat the gun violence, to meet the community where they are, and interrupt violence. Right? I know a few weeks ago it was an issue with a kid in school. And Kevin Livingston went to the school because he heard the kid was about to get involved with gang stuff, and he went and scooped that kid up, right? And it's about really interrupting violence before it gets to those points. We were able to secure $95 million that was taken away from our community in the last fiscal year to get a brand new precinct, which we broke
Wow.
down on earlier this year. We were able to really restore some of the funding that the pandemic took away from us. When you think about CASA, like cultural arts programs in our schools, when you think about resources for our seniors,
Mm-hmm.
we we were blessed this year to do so much thanks to the money that came down from Washington. We also received some additional money through the um, Brothers Thrive, Sisters Thrive initiative, where we were able to give out $1 million across New York City, of which 3 organizations were selected in my district, focusing on mental health, recognizing how important mental health is, and investing in it. And I just also want to acknowledge how that conversation around mental health has shifted, where in the Black community you hear people talking about
Right.
mental health these days. And so um, you know I'm just thankful to have been able to do that much in such a short period of time. Today was actually my last stated of my first term. So I've completed my first term. I start my new term in January. And so, I'm excited. Like, we just had that short window and did so much. And I'm prepared to go in to the next council and fight to make sure that we get our hospital in my district, or my at a minimum an emergency department with a trauma center in the Rockaways, to make sure that we're able to work with the federal and state government to help raise the Snake Road along Brookville Boulevard and through Rosedale, to make sure that we are increasing funding and resources in our schools. It's just so much work to be done, and I am looking forward, like I said before, to this new council that's coming, full of fighters,
Yes.
going to help me fight this good fight.
You know what? You've done so much and brought so much awareness in such a short time, and that's really what it's about. But you know what? You were in training all this time. So everyone who's listening, and yes, she's phenomenal. But this didn't happen overnight. And when New York City is full of bureaucracy, it's a huge city. But
Yes,
because
that's
you
the
were
one thing I hate
already,
about New York City is the bureaucracy. I will say that.
you know, but because you were groomed, right? Even if you didn't realize it for a time such as this, as they say.
Mhm.
So for you to navigate it, it made sense. Plus, people made, um, they were open to you because they kind of knew you. They knew you from before, and you built a relationship. And I think that's what is so important in our communities, is that we have a relationship. Because for that man to go and snatch up that young boy before violence, that's huge. But you're not going to hear that on the news. You're not going to hear that. But you're going to hear it on Late Night with Travis Michelle.
Yeah.
But that is what community is really about. And that's what our heritage is about. You're from Jamaica. You said, your grandfather, this is what you did there. You come to America. This is what, my parents are from the South. That's what we did. That's how we were able to bond. And I'm telling you guys, when, as a registered nurse, my silent day job, um, it's very important to have emergency services. And we're talking a huge community, and they're
Mhm.
isolated. And not to have that was ridiculous. It didn't even
Yeah.
make sense. So for you to go in and acknowledge it, but not just talk about it, because, I think we're all tired of politicians and what they have to say and their rhetoric. Yam, yam, yam. But to actually see you do it, and now to see you being a part of a coalition for 2022. Hey guys, I'm an NYC. I'm in NYC, so I'm like over the moon. There's so much going on with our mayor. There's a lot of movement, and it's positive. And to, like I said, to see people who are, you're stepping up to the plate. You're showing up, and you're an example and role model for your daughter. So can you just share, because I know I'm trying to be mindful of your time. Got me my 30 minutes. I got like 30 seconds. But what gems can you give to other other women who are thinking about going into politics, um, or any other young people who are talking about volunteering? What can we do in our communities, whether we live in New York City or we live in Alabama?
Get off the bench. 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 Women have to be asked at least 7 times to get into races to run. Studies have shown, because we often think that we cannot do it, but we can do it, right?
Right.
There are women who have run for office who have been pregnant. There are new moms. One of my colleagues coming into the council right now just delivered her baby. I have another one who is expecting and will be delivering somewhere mid budget season, and they are doing it. The community needs you. Every issue our community faces is a woman's issue, and we govern differently. And government needs our voice at the table. Government needs diversity at the table to make sure that we are really addressing the needs of our community. And so I'm always going to be one to encourage others to get off that bench, because we need everyone to, have skin in this game. When I spent time working on a campaign in the Bay Area, I went to a meeting held by Emerge, and it was at that time that I was told to get off the bench. I
Wow.
always kind of toy like, oh, I may run for office one day, but I really thought I was going to really run for office one day. And I came back home to New York, and then Sandy happened.
Right.
And I decided, you know what? Let me get off this bench. And I ran. And I did not win that first time, but I stayed involved. I continued to work on campaigns. I continued to volunteer. I went back into government. I went into labor, also, and then I ran again this time and won. I know with us as women, we have a lot of responsibility. We are the cornerstones of our families and the community, and I know it's a difficult um, decision to make. I
Right.
remember working before in government, and my boss was um, preparing to determine whether or not she was going to take this promotion that she had been waiting for and working towards for years. But she didn't know she could take it because, she had small children,
Right.
it would be a lot on her husband. And I remember just feeling so much like resentment for her and just being frustrated. Like, women should never be in that position that they can't do what their heart calls them to do, that they can't take that promotion, that they can't run for office or whatever. And I always, from that moment especially, felt like I wasn't going to let anything handicap me from doing the things that I want to do, because that's how I'll be my best self. And I'm thankful that I do have a husband that is supportive, um, that I ran. I'm thankful that I have a mom who's supportive. My sister is supportive. Like, I have definitely a support network, not to mention my countless sorority sisters, um, that continue to also be supportive of me in running for office and being in office.
And thank you for saying that because I have, my crew in here, and one of my besties is Tiffany Teachy, who is a mechanical engineer, international bestselling author also, and she says Emerge is a great organization, and she's actually a 2021 Emerge SC alum, and she's a
Okay.
Delta, just so that you know.
Hey,
So,
girl.
y'all are all in this house today. That's good. Representing. Um, and it's so good to hear because I've never heard of Emerge. And it's nice that you're bringing light to different organizations and people are being able to see because, we go international in this house, okay? That, oh, wow, this is what's going on. Oh, this is what, that sorority is about. It is about service. It is about helping the community. It is about collaboration. And this is how you have a supportive network. And it's a true sisterhood, and there are others, but I'm recognizing yours. So, I think that is so important because it's our fabric. And we should not feel as women that we have to change who we are to fit into some other role. We can still be in charge. We don't have to act like a man to be in charge. We just walk into the room, boss up, and we're in charge. And we command that presence because of our confidence. Because I can see it all over you. I'm just saying. What do you say? Okay, so I'm going to put up for everybody. Delta's representing. Let me put up your size. Everybody's so they can all get their due. Okay, yes, we see you. But so you shared with us what is going on in your community, what's going on next. Now, just for fun, like what are you doing for the holidays? Because just how are you spending the holidays with your family? Because I'm so proud of you. You finished your first term. You need to make you a priority. And I'm going to say this to you. We
Yes.
as women, we always taking care of someone else. What are you now going to do for you? And then, of course, with your daughter and your husband, what are you going to do for you? What are you doing for you? Because you've done a lot.
I have. Well, the good news is I finally put my Christmas tree up. I put it up a week ago, and then I put the decorations on Sunday. So I'm moving in the right direction. But I'm looking forward to celebrating Christmas with my family. Uh, I'm preparing for my inauguration in January, so that's been where my focus is. And I'll probably try and escape to go to the spa one of these days. So that's my hope when things kind of wind down a little.
Well, I want you to make a promise to us because you know what? You've delivered for everyone else. Clearly. That's without saying you've delivered. So I need you to deliver for us, for you. And that is not probably the spa. We want you to have that spa. You're going to put it just like you do with your dates. Because Tiffany is my accountability. She's all over me all the time, too. Write it down, make it plain, right? You're going to put a date, and then that's the day you're going to just go, and it's going to be about you. Because
Hopefully Renee hears that. Renee is my deputy chief of staff. She's tuning in too.
yes, Renee, I put you up here on blast, so we're letting you know she has to have that not penciled, inked in that she goes to the spa. Please, okay, please and thank you. All right, because when we don't, and a lot of people, I share my journey, like, wow, one day I'm good, the next November, oh, you got cervical cancer, but it's curable. Huh? Like, life is going on. I don't stop. And we know as Black women and brown women how important our health is, but we push it to the side, push it to the side. I'll get to it. I'll get to it. And now it's time for that integration. And I got that integration. I have to give credit where credit is due. It was Tiffany, because I used to say work-life balance. And she says, no. Mechanical engineer was like, no, it is work into life integration, because we're not always going to be balanced. And it's okay not to always be balanced, but we do have to learn how to integrate those healthy lifestyle choices, mental health, emotional health, relationships into our lives. And it's more than, yes, we can throw our eyelashes on and our skin, but really spending time with ourselves. So I'm so happy that your deputy is on here, because we put you on blast. So we have it recorded, because if it's recorded, it has to get done now, because now you're accountable for it. Oh, and I see, yes, your friend Renee, she said you need a whole island. I'm sorry, that threw me off. I was like, oh, she needs a whole island. Yes, a whole island. But so January 9th, I will be sitting at the comfort of my couch, watching, cheering you on along with other people. So excited, so proud to be a Black woman, so proud to be a New Yorker, so proud, even though I'm not in your district, we're in NYC, right?
That's
we're
right.
Together, and whatever Late Night with TrevisMichelle can do, please let me know, in terms of just, especially once I'm able to like get out and stuff again, because I'm in my treatments. But even from here, just please reach out, and everyone do that. I need everyone to reach out to their council person. Can you just share with, like, I know we're getting off the bench, we got it, but how can they reach out in their local? Because everybody looks at the presidency, but what touches you
is your local. And it's funny because a lot of people don't realize, to me, the most important position is the city council position. And I'm not saying it because I'm a council member. I chose to be a council member out of running for anything else. And that's because the bread and butter issues that impact us are legislated by city council members. So when you think about, your torn up roads that need to be repaved, or if you're talking about the trash that needs to be picked up, or you're talking about resources needed in the schools, all of those are issues that are on a city level. And so those are the members that handle those issues. And when you want to look for your council member, you could go online and just drop your address in at council. I want to say it's council.nyc.gov. But if you put in New York City Council on Google, it'll come up, and you just drop in your address and you're able to find it. I'm so excited also in Southeast Queens, for the very first time ever, we will have 3 women of color, 3 women, period, that will be representing Southeast Queens. And then going beyond Southeast Queens, on the Rockaway Peninsula, we will have 2 women representing the Rockaway Peninsula. So from St. Albans to Jamaica to Rosedale to Laurelton to Rockaway, you're going to have a woman representing you in the New York City Council.
And when I tell you powerhouse, okay,
Uh,
it's covered because Southeast Queens, for those of you who are not from New York City, they're always neglected. Like I live in Northern Queens, and then it's always like, oh yeah, you Southeast, Southeast, and now they're getting the attention, the love, the care, the support, the money that they deserve. And I am so I have chills. Because watching it and going through different stages and the deterioration and now to see the birth and the rebirth and the boom and I'm just
And
I'm
I have to give a shout out to an organization called 21 and 21 that made it their business to really help women get off the bench and run for city council. Their goal was really just to get 21 women elected this year, and we exceeded that and got 31 women elected between the partnership with 21 and 21 and the labor unions that said we want to increase women representation in government. These coalitions help make that a reality. And I just really have to pay homage and acknowledge that also.
wow, thank you for sharing that. We need to know how to contact you because I want to be able to put your website or your how. So what should I put in so I can put it in the comments? Because when you guys have the replay, I want you to say replay. I want you to share this out. This is very good information. Um, we have to support our sisters. We have to support our council women. We have to support our district leaders. But you guys got to get out there and put some work in. You want stuff, but you don't want to do any work. She can't be look, she's beautiful. She can't be going looking tall up from the floor up. So we all gotta get in there together and work so that the when because what happens when we work together, the work is light,
Mm-hmm.
right?
No,
We
absolutely. Absolutely. And folks can, visit me online. My council website is council.nyc.gov/district 31. And I still have my campaign website up, which is selvena.com, which you can email me through there also. My office email is district31 at council.nyc.gov. We have an office located in Laurelton at 222-02 Merrick Boulevard. And our office in Rockaway will be opening up in a couple of weeks, and it'll be at 1931 Mott Avenue, Suite 410. And I'm super excited to be able to greet folks when they come in. It's been a joy seeing community members come through the doors in Laurelton, and I'm looking forward to seeing the same in Far Rockaway.
that and like again, thank you so much. Um I'm going to be very mindful of your time. So before you leave, can you drop some because I know you got to drop some Delta nuggets, but I want you to drop some nuggets for us to leave us with going into 2022.
Well, going into 2022, there's a lot of work left to be done. We're still in the midst of a pandemic. If you have not gotten vaccinated yet, I encourage you to get vaccinated. If you are vaccinated, I encourage you to get boosted because we need to fight back against COVID-19 and make sure that we are keeping ourselves, our family, and our community safe. I encourage folks, especially our nonprofits, to begin to reach out to my office if you are looking to be funded for fiscal year 23. Because in January, we want to hit the ground running. And so we want to make sure that if you would like to be considered for funding, that you are submitting that information on time, so that we can have the necessary meetings, learn about what it is you're proposing to do, and take it from there. And I wish everyone a Merry Christmas, a Happy Kwanzaa, and a blessed New Year to come, filled with good health, prosperity, laughter, and joy. And Travis, I am praying for you.
Thank you.
I'm so glad that cancer will not beat you.
That's
And
right.
I'm telling you, you're going to be cancer. And I'm so thankful for you, for your voice. God positions us for a reason. And I always say it's a reason, season, or lifetime. And we were putting ministry together. And even though it was a short period of time that we were able to be in the Allen Liturgical Dance Ministry together at the same time, we have been connected. And I'm so thankful to know you and to know you have a powerful voice here, lifting up others. And however I can continue to support you, I am here. And know that you have a prayer warrior that is here praying for you too.
Thank you. Oh my, I wasn't expecting that, y'all, because it's about service to others, but I thank you. It sounds crazy, but this journey that I am on, I am full of expectation. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm just so thankful that I can have a voice for other women, because that's really what it's about. It's my journey. Look, y'all, it's my journey. I'm over here nauseous and all kind of stuff, but I showed up tonight, right? Because
You're looking fabulous. Okay.
thank you. This testimony has to be out there, because
Yes.
but I feel so comforted because I have all of you to get with me. So I really thank you for that. So make sure that you guys tune in every Wednesday, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Late Night with TrevisMichelle. Y'all, guess who's going to be on next week? Okay, I know. It's like, look, we're members of the Greater Allen Cathedral of New York. Well, next week we're going to have a psychologist on, Dr. Rochelle Robinson, who also is a member and is like one of my daughters from another mother.
And a
I'm so
Wilberforce
excited.
alum.
What happened?
She's a Wilberforce alumna as well.
Right, Anna Wilberforce. And you know what? I started out being her Sunday school teacher. That's how far back we go. Yeah, people are like, I know I look good, girl. I know I look good.
Yes.
But I'm just so excited for next week. Thank you, everyone. Please make sure that you women, females, that we are taking care of our purse. That's our vagina, our cervix, and our fallopian tubes. We talk about our breasts, we talk about our heart, we talk about everything, our mental health, but we don't take care of our purse. And we must do that. We can fight cancer. It's not a death sentence. Look at me. I'm going to radiation 5 days a week, driving myself, except on Fridays, and then doing chemo. I'm doing it. I'm 2.5 weeks in. You can do it. We can fight this together. But you know what? When we have a community, that's what makes it good. So, hey, guess what? I'm TrevisMichelle. I'm too much for some. Y'all know all that already. I'm not enough for others. Get on board. You'll be all right. But guess what? I'm always just right for me. So until next time, thank you so much, everyone, for being here tonight. I'll see you next week.